Hey, everyone.
Hey,
Hello.
hi.
Oh my gosh, we're even filling the screen. I'm really impressed. Hi, everybody. It's Ron and Ron's friends. But immediately, it's Ron from Ron's computer videos. But what I wanted to do is have a little wrap-up meeting this evening to kind of cover MARCHintosh 2022. Talk to some of the great people that created content for the event, and maybe discuss some cool things we saw, some things maybe we wanted to try to accomplish with the event, maybe some things that went wrong, and things we'd like to see for next year. But first of all, let's do introductions. I don't know if you guys see everything exactly the same way I do, but Dave is right next to me, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with Dave, and then just kind of go around, Brady Bunch style.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dave from Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. And to this way, here's the next gentleman.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joe from Joe's Computer Museum. I helped start MARCHintosh a year ago, whenever we did it last. I don't remember. My brain doesn't work. I do things on YouTube and fix people's computers, especially computers of this guy right below me, whose name is Javier.
And that's me. That's my cue. I'm Javier from Adventures in Retro Computing, and I'm happy to be here. Next goes Sean.
Hey, Connect Retro. Also happy to be here and happy to be part of MARCHintosh.
I thought your name was Alice.
Well, sorry,
Is the hair going on?
Is he Jim J. Bullock, or is he Charles Nelson Riley, or who normally gets the center square?
Paul Lynn.
Paul Lynn.
Yeah.
Marsha.
I guess it's my cue. I'm xodium or however you want to pronounce it. I don't care, really. Use your imagination. But I'm here because Ron so graciously invited me along. I do the YouTubes and the most notably the Twitters these days more than the YouTubes, because like just been creatively kind of in a rut as of late, but getting back into it hopefully soon.
It's all good.
And
that's me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Eric from Eric's Edge, and just kind of got started in the last year and started producing some content, and I'm just happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Justin D. Morgan, host of Computerized Start on my YouTube channel, which is creatively named Justin D. Morgan.
Dangerous.
Yes, that D
Danger
may
Morgan.
or may not stand for danger. That's for you to decide.
And last and probably least, I am Tom. I'm not a YouTuber at the moment, but I'm probably best known for being one of the Busalacchi sellers, and with the aspirations of being making a YouTube channel.
a
Which I have a
purveyor
channel.
of
It just
googly
has,
eyes.
it just has one subscriber
And
and no
me,
videos.
right?
I think it is you. Yeah.
Yeah, it is me. I was gonna say you're the purveyor of googly eyes and winner of tonight's contest for the amount of headspace on your webcam. Oh, that's even better. Oh man, going for broke.
Yeah.
All right, look at you're framed well, Tom. So, but yeah. Anyway, thank you everybody for coming out this evening. I know that it's Good Saturday, it's Good Friday, and then I don't know what the Saturday thing is. Maybe it's Marginal Saturday,
Easter
and then
Eve.
Easter Eve. What is the traditional Easter Eve gift? I feel like it's egg related.
It's,
Empty basket.
Beeps.
Reefer caps.
Microwave beeps.
Reefer caps.
But I do appreciate everybody taking time out of their Saturday evening.
Everyone
You
gets
could be
reefer
doing
caps.
your own live streams, but you're here to talk about this cool event that I kind of pitched to Joe on a whim, and Joe was like, "We really do need to do something like that." And then Joe stepped in and kind of made a bunch of formative kind of ideas where it's like setting the dates and hooking us up with Javier and all that type of stuff to kind of put those things together. So, but this evening is not about us. It's about you, people at home, and people here in the panel that contributed to the event, made blog posts and did videos, and if nothing else, just promoted it, so that way that we could try to grow the audience this year and try to get people more involved. I think the thing that makes me most proud about this event is that, unlike some of the other community events, which really do seem gate kept to a certain extent, we've tried to just make this as open as possible, so that way that anybody could participate who wanted to. We put the style guide out there, we put the graphics out there, as much support. And then this year, unlike last year, where we just tried to let things be organically promoted on Twitter, Joe and I worked together to try to make sure that every day that we were out there hitting and making sure that we were doing retweets and shares on people's things and trying to help people find new audiences, which is also kind of a major component of this event as well. Because it's great to tell your friends what you're doing, and I want to hear what you're doing, but I also want to introduce you to my friends who may not know what you're doing, so that you can reach them and kind of enrich their retro computing experience too. So to that, what are some of the cool things that you saw this year that that kind of hit you maybe where you live in terms of this hobby? And anybody can just throw out there.
I can't talk about any one specific thing, because there was so much good content, not just from the veterans of content or even the veterans of the first MARCHintosh, but there was a ton of content from everybody just jumping in. And I think, to touch on Ron's promotional angle, the fact that we all kind of came together, not just the people in this group, but a lot of other veterans, so to speak, came together to promote. We got a lot of content from people we had never seen before. Just random names flying by on Twitter. We've got newcomers like Eric, for example, who jumped in as well. And I think that just goes to show that group inclusiveness goal was really met this year.
Community.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I agree. I think it was really cool that a lot of people took this as an opportunity to kind of, like, I'm not going to say get off their duff, but get off their duff and get their channels started. Because it's you've got like a good way to kind of kickstart some things, because you've already got people with their eyes on this event. So it made it easy to then say, you know, hey, I'm doing some stuff in that vein, you know, check my stuff out too. And I think it also helped with the M1s and everything kind of being more prevalent, kind of or the discontinuation of Intel chips opened up. Now that is kind of retro Macintosh.
It's retro now. You can do it. Even though I bought it 18 months ago.
As much as some people don't want to say it's retro now, like that's if I can interject real quickly, that's one of the things I really liked about MARCHintosh. It's like, Eric sent me a 2010 MacBook, and that's like one of the most oddball machines from the Intel era, or like one of them. And I liked it. I was like, should I cover this from MARCHintosh? And everybody was like, do it. Whereas in places like, say, Facebook groups or r/vintage Apple, they'd be like, ew, it's Intel. That's not vintage at all. Get it away. So it's very, it's just something I had to interject with because it was on my mind. Well, Joe was saying that.
It has ADB.
Oh, is that the...
That's the rule. So the 128 and 512 are not, and plus aren't vintage, but the SE and up are vintage.
So
that's the rule.
That's where it sort of like...
Garth gets it.
Like you have stuff from the Romantic period of literature, and then you have the classical era of literature. So if your machine doesn't have ADB ports...
I think another really cool thing that happened this year, just to be slightly introspective or navel-gazing, was I had the opportunity to work with a lot of cool people this year on many things. Dave, for example, we did a little live stream together. xodium, I got to meet virtually over the internet and say hi to. Eric, the newcomer. We've done some things with Justin this year as well. I think that's been really cool. It's allowed me as a not just as a content creator, but as a person, to be able to see what y'all are doing and be like, hey, can we be friends? I'll be your best friend. Do you want pineapple pizza?
Yeah.
That's a MARCHintosh reference.
Oh,
I was just looking for my copy of the book. It's sitting around here somewhere. Yeah, Tom and I buried that body. It's really been a time of coming together for so many people in the community.
Yeah, this isn't live, right?
No, we'll do
Only-
it in post.
Only us and our closest friends
Yes,
know about that. That body.
it's true. But you know what? They had it coming, so
It was that guy that posted the 2011 iMac in the Vintage Apple Facebook group. We had to get revenge.
I'm sorry.
it
Oh no,
happens.
that wasn't me.
Actually,
You're
I
still
was,
here, so
yeah, I was just scrolling through the YouTube search for MARCHintosh 2022 just to kind of remember all the channels that produce content. And I think it was great that we had big channels like LGR did a blurb.
Yep.
I'm going to have to go back to my cheat sheet here because I have Jeremy's Retro Bar did a video, and Computer Clan. So some of the larger channels, but yet I'm also seeing smaller channels, and in fact channels that I don't normally see, like in the MacYak chat and some of those other chats. And there were some great videos, just overall, large and small channels. And I think it was also great that we encouraged people, okay, if you're not YouTube, post something on Twitter and tag it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You have a blog something on your blog and share it. So it wasn't just YouTube.
I tried to kind of inspire people this year with doing the cross-platform, cross-creator sort of collaboration because let me see. Oh, well, sorry. I'm clicking it as if you guys can see it, but Eric Helgeson out there on his blog wrote a post for last year's MARCHintosh that was all about kind of creating like the ultimate System 7.1 setup for some of those older machines and adding system extensions and things like that to try to get it up to the point where it was more like System 7.5, but with a lower sort of memory footprint. And so I took his blog post, or I went out and I asked permission, of course, first. And he was like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Go ahead and do that. And I turned it into kind of a video, like a how-to, so that way that people could maybe try that at home or maybe inspire them to. I was really hoping somebody would do like a System 608 video or something that would be, here's like some add-ons and things like that to try to get it more like 701 or something like that. I didn't see it this year, but you never know. Somebody might pick up and run with that in the future.
You know, talking about cross content, you also did the coloring book.
Oh yeah, that happened a little bit before. I've got it sitting around here somewhere, but yeah, I sponsored the Apple II page, and because I didn't know there was going to be a Macintosh page, so that didn't work out exactly right. But I don't know. They might do future volumes of that.
So, Ron, how good are you, or have you perfected your skills coloring in the coloring book? Or?
No, I actually am profoundly colorblind. So now to my benefit, it's mostly beige. You just got to order a beige crayon, and that's 90%
Lighters
of
are
the
that's all you
beige.
got to worry about, right?
Yeah.
Just a box of beige.
Yeah. Go ahead. I haven't done any, or I haven't drawn in it or anything like that yet, but maybe eventually when I have some time. I have like 4 million other. I don't know about you guys, but I have like 4 million other projects that I haven't like finished.
Drawing project?
Yeah. So it's rough. Yeah, Joe's to-do
Joe's
list
got a
there.
list.
I mean, Sean is even working on something right now.
Yeah, I know.
At least on the screen.
Here.
We know where your attention is.
Soldering. Yeah.
That's real multitasking.
I know. And it's funny because he's producing a video for his channel right now. So it's kind of, yeah. So it'll be confusing, but I think the folks at home will like it. It'll be his sort of like his Werner Herzog sort of episode. But, so we talked about some things that people kind of liked about the event, or some neat things that they maybe saw. What would you say are some things that we did right this year? compared to year one?
I think just I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Dave.
I think just the general awareness of making more people aware of the event really hit a chord, especially on social media. I know there was a ton of tweets on Twitter. I don't get on Facebook very often, but I know on Twitter, man, it just blew up with a lot of MARCHintosh stuff, and of course on YouTube. I mean, for me personally, I've been getting back into the 68K Max. I kind of got a jump start when I actually saw this post on Twitter from Sean about this Mac that it was too scary for him to pursue. And I'll tell you what, this kind of created a little bit of a firestorm because there's a lot of mixed opinions on, well, you should take all the paint off of it. And when I first saw it, I kind of had to take a relaxing pill to kind of get used to the visuals on it, but I'm getting used to it. It's kind of growing on me, and I like it. But the interesting thing is I've modded the crap out of this thing. I mean, I've put a Rominator in it. Now, the first one didn't go so well. It took Rominator number 2 to get it right. And again, JDW, K Koba, they reached out to me and they critiqued me and they said, well, this is probably the problem. So I ordered another kit, went by their guidance, and it works. But the other problem I ran into it, though, is when I did reassemble the Rominator and I put it on the board, it would not, it would see it, it would make the little tink sound when it starts up and a little pirate logo, but it wouldn't see the Rominator drive. So again, K Koba reached out to me and he said, look at the chips, the sockets where the ROM chips are. He goes, make sure they're flat. Well, these differed from my other board. The others were completely flat, where these other ones, they had like little fins on them. So obviously they've done revisions on the board. And so I took and I shaved those down and reseated the Rominator. And I'll tell you what, it takes a lot to get that thing to go into sockets. I mean, I took a block of wood using my weight and I'm rocking it down, and got it down there. And it's been working fine since. But then the other thing is that I added the diode to it, so now it has its own termination power. And then thanks to the real Tom there in the corner, he got this Rominator kit, this Bluedudexoo kit to Steve at Mac 84. Steve put it together.
Backwards.
Perfectly.
No, that was the only one.
The one he did before that was backwards. No, he got this one perfect.
Before and the one he did after were backwards. Yeah. But, that one was right.
And of course, I have the Over Easy adapter on it, and of course, I like the little Bluedudexoo logo on it there. That's pretty cool. And then, but this thing is pretty neat. Now, I do need to do the firmware update on this here. And I saw Sean's video, and that was amazing how much speed boost going with those different images and updating the firmware on this thing really made a big difference. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. And then, of course, then I take and I have to give Steve permanent credit on the back here because sorry, this thing's heavy. And then you'll see Steve's sticker on the back there. All right, so had to give him equal billing because we have the other sticker on the Bluedudexoo there. But yeah, and then of course Ron is working on something. Going to be soldering up something, and that'll be another thing I could do an upgrade on this. And yeah, so but that really kind of got me drawn back into this thing. Starting out with this. And then I did a little thing. I've been working on a video of the clamshell that I acquired. It was the Firewire edition. It was the last revision they made of that machine. And trying to make it a dual boot. They don't like to be dual booted. So I think I'm going to stick with Tiger on it, which I got to reload that again on it. But anyway, I tried different methods, and I'd get one partition working right, the other partition wouldn't work. It just didn't like the other one. Trying to bless everything, as they say, and so we're just going to go with one partition. But anyway, yeah. So the like I said, this my reintroduction back into compact Macs. Like I said, I originally bought the 128K Mac back in 1984 when they first came out. I waited in line to get the sucker, and they were expensive back in the day. I think I got that. I got an image writer printer, the original one. Yeah. and and that was like about almost $3,000 for that. You know?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It was
in 1980s money.
Mm-hmm.
You could buy a car for that.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, absolutely.
But Dave hits on a really good point there, because I know everybody produced just a lot of content for this. My problem is in like 2021, I was like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do these things. And I made the mistake that all creators make, which is I told people about my ideas.
Yeah.
Because because I've long been told that when you tell people about things you want to do, you trigger the same reward sensors in your brain as actually completing whatever that thing is, and you are less likely to do it. So the solution is keep your mouth shut and do the thing, and then when you release it, then like shout it from the hilltops, all like get all that energy out, but get the project out first. So I made that mistake. Yeah, I made that mistake last year. And so this year, I didn't talk about what I was going to do, but I was very lucky. I was able to travel and see some other people in the community, and I did some collaboration stuff with Steve from Mac84, and I did some collaboration stuff with Joe. I did some collaboration stuff with Rudy and Joe and Javier from Retro Repair Roundup, and was able to just do like some fun things, and then just like talk to other people in the community. And it was like, you know, what are you working on? Can I send you something? Can I send you this? And so I sent some things to Kate, and I sent some things out to other folks in the community just to try to kickstart their projects. And I like that community aspect of things, but I also like the fact that I got 4 damn videos out the door this year, plus some shorts and stuff like that. So, but I missed doing, sorry, long walk, but we're back. I missed doing some things that I really wanted to do. I wanted to finish up my PowerBook 150 restore, because I did a little short about kind of pre-MARCHintosh about the vinegar syndrome that affects some of those PowerBooks, especially the PowerBook 150. And I wasn't able to follow up on that. But what are some of the things you would have liked to have got done this time, Eric?
All the things.
Yeah, well,
All the things.
you know, I just got started, producing content for YouTube. And one of the things I kind of made myself do is like, you got to do at least one live stream. Well, I hit I didn't hit MARCHintosh. I did it April 1st when I gave away the 100 subscriber prize that I put up.
Yeah.
But I did some shorts, and I got those out there. Thanks, Ron, for suggesting that people just throw a short out, just do something. Yeah. I actually did a real quick live stream on this iMac that I picked up this weekend, and I plan to do. I actually was going to do. Oh, gee, I could do a recapping on it. All the caps are fine, thank God. So I don't have to buy 30, caps to redo this thing. But one of the things I wanted to do was try to expand on the content that you guys were doing last year. And I'm a software developer, so I started doing a little bit of, programming. I threw this really long, extremely boring stream out there about a program that I was working on. And thank God Jay actually responded with a comment that says, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, but it's great. And I'm like, okay, consider your audience. how do you do this? So now I committed to doing a 60 episode stream. That'll take me a year and a half. But honestly, if you think
But you got Ken Burns on board, so
I got
think
Ken
this is gonna
Burns.
really...
I'm doing all the I'm going to have a B and a C cam. No, but it did get me thinking about who's the audience? What do I want to accomplish when I do this? And I really enjoyed HyperCard and that environment and wanted to get back into it. And by doing this, I'm learning things myself that I never picked up before because I'm actually trying to go through every single thing that you do with HyperCard to learn it. Mm-hmm. And I'm making it digestible chunks at least so that people can go, oh, well, that sounds interesting. I'll watch that one. So I'm learning a lot doing this, and it actually is helping me at work. I'm a manager, and I'm not as comfortable giving presentations as I should be, and doing this is helping me with that. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping they'll pay me, but no such luck. But I think expanding, you guys did a lot more topics. You had a lot more, not just more content. It wasn't just more recapping or more this. Mm-hmm. It was expanded content, and I love that.
Well, I just want to say that this year, the new thing I did that I think worked well was I saved a project specifically for MARCHintosh. Mm. So I got done exactly what I wanted to do, something I wanted to do forever, which was build a Mystic. And I was able to complete that under the MARCHintosh banner, and it just felt really good.
I did that, and it bit me in the ass, kind of. I had everything saved up. I was waiting because I had a bunch of stuff I wanted to do at the end of February. I'm going to save it. Then everything kind of went sideways, and then towards the end of the month, I was finally going to get some time, and then the PowerMac 9600 that's sitting under my desk showed up, and I was like, well, crap, I got to do this thing now. And then that thing turned out to be just a royal pain, but I still love that machine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to get a lot of things done, and I luckily didn't fall into the trap of telling everybody, I'm going to do all the things! Because I didn't get anything done other than some live streams and as far as content creation goes. But I think MARCHintosh allowed me to reach out to a lot of people and help them out with a lot of things. I fixed several things for Adam McGee. I fixed about 175,000 different motherboards for Javier. I got to be a guest or a host on so many live streams with Steve and MacYak and Retro Repair Roundup. I think I've been on a couple Ron streams during MARCHintosh. We had Justin and I. Justin, did we do our live stream? Was that during MARCHintosh? I don't know, but
it was actually in April.
No, it wasn't in April. Okay. But Dave and I did a stream, and MARCHintosh adjacent. But I got that opportunity to actually work with a lot of people and share a lot of the things I've learned, and also learn from a lot of people during this event. Which hopefully that just helps spread knowledge across the board and make the entire community even that much stronger. So.
I mean, you did something that counts. You didn't have a 0 day during this event, really. So, I mean, you can't really blame yourself. You can't really say I did be hard on yourself. I mean, you did something. For the first MARCHintosh, I did one video, just one. And it was really
it's all about getting out there and doing something.
Yeah.
While, I don't want to say that I'm beating myself up about it, but I do have a slight little, resentment about myself as being one of the promoters of MARCHintosh, creators, whatever you want to call it, but not producing that much. But I think what I was trying to come back with was say that I tried to make up with that by helping everybody else out.
Exactly. You did a good job of it.
I think that's very important.
And that's kind of my thing anyway. I'm the silent guy, so.
The silent hero.
Aw.
I certainly appreciated you being in the chat, Joe, while I was trying to repair the Macintosh 2 CI which is still on my workbench, if anyone's wondering. That was actually, I had this grandiose goal of restoring the Macintosh 2CI, except for RetroBrite because it's too cold in Virginia in March to do that. Later in the year, I probably will try RetroBriting when it's actually warm outside in July, probably. But so I had it. I did get the logic board recapped, but then I ran into trouble because I cannot get it to output a video image.
Oh, no.
And I also made the mistake of finding this poor abandoned Macintosh LC2 on eBay that had a keyboard with it, and I actually bought it because it's a Mac Pro Plus keyboard that will work with the 128, 512, and Plus, as well as ADB Max. But I made the mistake of also pulling this LC2 onto my workbench to recap it and recap the power supply. And actually, I didn't finish it either because at the moment I need to order wire to build a new wire harness for the power supply because reasons. But hey, at least the LC2 or the LC2 will live. The 2CI will hopefully live.
At least it's not a Quadra 840 AV.
Yeah.
Nice.
True that.
Someone reset the clock. He said it.
I think what's important about this, though, is that we're not afraid to show people that we have difficulties and we run into problems and we try to work them out and we help each other to work them out. I'm not going to mention names, but we had a couple of people that have only done maybe 2 or 3 streams that started doing it in MARCHintosh. And this community rallied around them and encouraged them and showed up for their live stream. And there was a lot of participation on that. My first live stream, I had only a few people in it, but Ron showed up and cheered me on, and it ended up going. It was going to be 15 minutes, and I think I went like almost 2 hours because people were. I was telling stories about the early days before the internet, the dark ages.
And can I just say, as someone who was there for that whole stream, you started out and you had kind of a goal. And this happens to a lot of folks where you kind of like you have stream creeps where you end up talking or doing other stuff while you're there. But that stream, I think, is the one where you kind of like, because everybody you start out, you're kind of like, okay, I am very scripted and I have exactly what I am going to say. And that was the stream where you kind of were just like, I am now relaxed. And we're just going to have this cool conversation. And that's, I think that's the stream where you just kind of, you found your voice. I really enjoyed it. And I would recommend everybody go back just because there's a lot of cool, no offense, old timer stories in there.
I resemble that remark.
That if you didn't grow up in that era, there's a lot of gee whiz stuff that was really cool to hear. So I'm glad you shared it. So.
I wrote an accounting system with nothing but ones.
If I may, because I wanted to talk about the whole helping people with things. I'm sure a lot of you who follow me on Twitter have heard the story about how I was beating myself up over trashing a Mac 2CI, and it went really sideways for me. And I know Steve was begging me to send the board out to him because he could probably do better at it than I can. But actually, Garth stepped up, took the board off my hands, and made it look professional again. It was like no judgment at all about how bad I'd messed that board up. And that's what I love about this community. It's like, even if you screw up, nobody's going to judge you. Everybody wants to help you get out of your screw up rather than be like, haha, you screwed up. Mm-hmm. And that's what I love about this place. Like, in any other community, I feel like if something like that were to happen, people would just laugh at me the entire way. Here, it's like, I feel like
you did it wrong.
Everybody has my back.
You don't know what you're talking about, or blah 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 blah. Or
phony.
Yeah, xodium. I did watch you put that thermal compound on that duodock, and we can no longer be friends. I'm sorry. Actually, this is how you do that.
That was liquid silver. You.
Well, here's what I like, and you've hit on something good. Is that I do think, just in a compliment to our community, I do think that people aren't afraid to show little foibles in their videos and things like that, and it keeps you humble, and it keeps you grounded with your audience. I think though too, just because not to bring up somebody who isn't like technically maybe part of the Mac community, like with Dave from over there at gosh, what's the name of his channel? It's huge, and I should absolutely remember. He's the iBook guy. Oh no, wait, I meant to say he's the something else guy this week. What's the name of his channel?
The paperclip guy.
Yeah, but Dave like stuck that paperclip in that thing, and a lot of people gave him shit. But you know what? I'm like, I'll give you props for leaving that in your video, because I guarantee ain't nobody else in your audience going to make the same mistake.
That's true.
Well, that's a good segue about my story. Remember, I did the Atari. How do I call it? The Atari incident. And actually, that Atari was going to be my story for MARCHintosh, because I wanted to emulate Macintosh on an Atari. I've never was able to do it because all my Ataris never worked or were really flaky. So, hey, maybe next year.
Yeah, like as much as that's actually Ron touched on a good point there. As much as I may have some feelings about the 8-bit guy, I will say that took a lot of cojones to leave that bit in his video, because I have to believe he knew somewhere he was going to get torn asunder for that one, especially because he was working on a rare machine.
When I went to Computer Reset,
don't drink it, Sean.
Yeah, you got to put a piece of white bread.
We're here to help you.
Well, I'm like a chef. You got to taste it to make sure it's good.
I think that's what he did when he turned the camera off. He was probably drinking some.
Squeeze a couple limes in your mouth and then
doing eye shots. Yeah.
No, the worst thing will be is if I start using this one to clean the board off.
Yeah. That's why you should just buy Everclear and use that.
Oh yeah,
smart, smart.
That'll take the paint off a car. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
For all the crap that people gave Dave Murray, though, he is genuinely just kind of a nice guy, and he's a big nerd, and like many of us. And so when I went to Computer Reset, he was just like, I reached out to him and I was just like, hey, can we view the studio? Because he was building the new studio at the time. And he's like, yeah, just come on by. I don't know you from Adam. Just come on by. So just kind of a nice guy. But again, it's good when people leave that stuff in, because it just lets everybody know that, nobody's perfect. Po Buddy's nerfect, and you just try to make the best content you can. So.
I think it's prudent to, when you're looking at a situation like that, where somebody screws up, like somebody like Dave Murray screws up, you look at it and you're like, rather than be like, good job, you idiot, I've kind of started to be like, but what would I have done in that situation if I were looking at the very same machine with the very same tool set that I have?
Wait a minute, xodium, are you describing the concept of empathy?
A little bit, maybe.
Not on the internet, sir. That is reserved.
That's forbidden.
There's no empathy in retro.
Yeah, that's reserved for real life feels, not internet feels.
But to redirect this back towards the Mac community a little bit, tangentially related to Javier, when he had that issue with that. With his Atari, and honestly, I blame the documentation on the internet for the pinouts of that power supply, because there are 50% of them that are correct, and there are 50% of them that will destroy your Atari. And I had to verify it by actually using a multimeter, like my Kaiweets KM6, just to make sure it was correct. But Javier, of course, he reached out first to the Atari community to be like, hey, this is my Atari. I did an oopsie. What can I do to maybe fix this? And everybody was like, you destroyed it. You're awful. Go throw it in the trash and get a new one. No help, no assistance, no attempt, no nothing. They just basically, they said, sorry. But he reached out to others in the community. I don't want to say like I'm awesome or anything, but
I'll hint about it strongly.
Yeah. I'm the best at making mistakes. Anyway, so, that's the kind of thing that we try to espouse in the Macintosh community, especially with MARCHintosh, is we are together. We help each other. Do we make mistakes? Yeah, we're human beings. Who freaking cares? The point is to try to work with each other to reach a common goal and fix the thing. And I don't want to call out the Atari community specifically, but it is an example of what is different about the vintage Mac community, our little family we've put together, and how MARCHintosh has brought us all together even more.
Yep. So, very cool. Hey, before we move to sort of the, because things we did right, I like that. Cool things that we saw, I like that too. There is someone here that was kind of in on the ground floor for getting this event off the ground, and that was Steve from Mac84. He's working tonight with Bruce from Branches Creations. They're doing a Branches. They're doing a live stream.
It's Bondi.
It's Bondi. They're trying to teach Dan the Canadian computer collector how to solder. So light a candle and pray for patience while they're doing that. But Steve did send kind of a video that he just basically kind of a greetings video since he couldn't be here. So I'd like to play that before we actually move on to the next kind of topic. Yeah, sure. So everybody, I'm going to do my best to try to make this work. So we will see. Hold on one second.
Don't play the outro.
Yeah, I'm going to not play the outro. Okay, here, let's see if this works. Is it working with audio?
Yep.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix my Quadro 840 AV here. So, Ron has asked me to talk to you a bit about MARCHintosh. Now, MARCHintosh was fantastic this year. I think it blew everyone away. The expectations that everyone had from last year, well, they were just obliterated. Like my Quadro 840 AV board. Anyway, I just wanted to thank everybody for participating in MARCHintosh. There were so many good videos and great content out there. I know I was doing a lot of live streams and other things. Everybody who participated, whether you did a blog post or a video or just shared it on Twitter or social media, you did your part in making sure MARCHintosh made it on the map. Which was great because I think we obliterated MARCHintosh 2021. The results from this year were fantastic. There was so much great content. I want to point out a few of the things that I watched. xodium playing around with his classic Macs was a lot of fun. Dave from Dave's Vintage Apple Tech resurrecting and playing around with his Macintosh Plus. And then we had an excellent video by Garth Beagle, who was looking at his lovely Radius clone. So there were just so many different things. You had blog posts of people knitting Apple icons and stuff like that. And I just think it was a fantastic hit. So thank you to everyone who participated in MARCHintosh this year, and I hope we have just as much fun as we do next year. Bye.
Oh my goodness. Perfect.
Well, at least it's a padded hammer.
May I say something to the effect of that video real quick? Because I really want to put out a thank you to Steve, since he kind of named me in there. But there was a time on Twitter when I was like kind of getting a little down on myself because I had just shot the video, edited it, and all that wonderful stuff on the G3 Mini Tower, which was just an ordeal and a half. The thing was rusted almost all the way through. I got it cleaned up enough to work, and I put it up on YouTube, and it flopped really hard. And I was just like, oh, why the hell is this not going? Steve noticed, he's like, go watch that guy. Do it. That's my favorite Mac.
Yeah.
He got the numbers up, and I was like, I really appreciate that. Yeah. Steve's a really awesome dude.
Steve is the awesomest. Yes.
But that underlines...
Aside from me and Ron.
Oh, well. I'll try to be as humble as I can. You know, yeah, since humility is like my best quality.
Right.
But no, that underlines something very important about something. Like if we can switch over to this something that I'd like to see, or like basically that didn't go as well this year that could have gone as well is there was a lot of promotion and stuff where people are sharing things and doing stuff like that. But it does often seem like in our community that there's a lot of times where people are very reluctant to promote themselves, or they are very reluctant to promote what other people are doing. So and it doesn't matter how many Twitter followers you have, it doesn't matter how many Facebook Facebook friends you have, or any of those type of things. If you see something neat, just share it. In the off chance that there's someone in your your circle that hasn't seen it, and even if it's something like a Dana Siberia post, or like a or Nanoraptor post or something like that, it's, share it anyway, because it's possible that it's going to end up in somebody's face who might not have seen it otherwise. So I would have liked to have seen more people doing promotional stuff, especially of their own work and also of their friends. But what would you say are some of the things that we could have done better for MARCHintosh 2022?
I think we could have done better at repeating everything you just said. Because I agree with it 100%, and I don't have anything else to add to that, particularly because I feel that I'm in that exact same camp right there. I didn't promote enough, cross-promote, cross-tweet, stuff like that. I feel that I was too absorbed in my own little mini MARCHintosh world and not quite in the community as much as I could have been.
People have lives, Joe. I get it. People have things going on. I've got to get the twins to soccer, and I don't know how they ended up on separate teams on the opposite ends of town. But I understand that people have a million things going on, and that's why, like, retweets. It's you guys have seen that meme of of Bilbo, where he's got the ring and he's like, why shouldn't I keep it? It's like this retweet. Why should I have to do that? Forget it. It's like takes very little effort. Just retweet that stuff. Yeah. So every morning I go through my feed and I'm just like, oh, I like this and I like that and I want to see this other thing. And there's some stuff that I don't see until other people retweet it, because social media is great with that shadow ban, where you will just, like, the stuff you're making does not make it to people on your list, but somehow the algorithm will say, well, if it's shared by this other person who has maybe a very slightly higher profile or something, it will. So I always try to, like, check what other people are saying and what they're retweeting, and then go to those original pages and then retweet those from the original page, so that way that it tries to drive the traffic back through. It's tough. I get it.
That's the number one lesson I learned this year, because Ron's talking about my post where I talked about something and completely forgot to put the link to the YouTube video or anything on it. And I'm like, he's like, you always where's the link? So I think that may have been the impetus, or at least the straw on the camel's back that kind of broke it for him. So thank you, Ron.
It's like, I know where that stuff is, but do somebody this is a drive-by, that they're just gonna, like, this is their first exposure to you. And I can't remember who brought this up. I don't know if it was Ariana, but somebody had said that if you post like a link on Twitter, even if it's to your like a video or something like that on YouTube or Vimeo or wherever you're making content, or to like a live stream on Twitch, make sure to put a graphic with it, because there's something about the way that things show up on mobile. So if you are relying on the thumbnail for your video to sell whatever it is you're doing, I guess it doesn't work as well. But if you have a graphic, it will absolutely display the graphic, and then they'll always have that, like, link to whatever the content is as a backup. So that would be something, just throwing that out there. Some knowledge gained during MARCHintosh.
Yeah, definitely.
Or just make posts about Firewire. That's how I got, like, a bunch of attention somehow. I don't know how that happened to this day.
You shouldn't have put Fire Festival in the search topics.
Or Firewire with a Y.
People were coming to Rubberneck, a bunch of rich people eating cheese sandwiches, and they were like, "What? Hard drives? What?"
That clickbait. There you go.
Yep. Yeah, one of my most popular posts was the short I did challenging Ron and Steve to use super soakers. I think there was 2,000 kids that were really disappointed that they didn't see two old men, shooting each other with super soakers. So, they're like, "Who's this guy with the beard? Where's the super soaker?"
Next year, we're gonna do a super soaker fight. I gotta plan it.
It's
Midwest.
March. It'll be a little.
DCF Midwest to be
No, that makes it more interesting. Hypothermia is fun.
It is.
Well, I think one thing that didn't go so well is I called the LC series Pizza Box Max, and that did not work out so
They
well.
resemble
some
it.
people.
I call them.
Yeah,
I think there's
call
some
them pizza
people that
boxes.
resent them being called pizza boxes.
Well, I'm going to call them pizza boxes every time I use them then.
All
Yeah.
right.
I had to edit so much because I kept slipping up and saying Microsoft instead of Macintosh. My entire work life revolves around the Microsoft stack. So, oops. I started leaving them in and just apologizing.
My Microsoft LC 575.
Right. Yeah. Runs Windows 90.
Yeah.
So
You're making.
we've got-
Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry.
I was gonna say you're making me think of the cursed iMac that I built and actually gave it away because it was dying. Where I had like Windows XP loaded onto it with the Zune theme because I needed a old Windows machine to use my Zunes with, and that was what I had on hand. And not long after I set up, it just died. Probably because I windowed it too much.
Sure.
Yeah.
It opened up the window and jumped off the third floor.
Right. I would have.
Yeah.
This is my fate.
Sean's had a few videos where it was just sort of like everything is going good. Everything is proceeding nice. I've got 10 hours of footage recorded, and then something dies,
Oh, yeah.
and it's like, ugh. So I think a lot of people hit those little brick walls. Like I was making a video for something recently, and I got to the end of it, and I was like, oh, I kind of realized that doesn't work at all. So I was like, oh well, lost episode time.
Well, Sean's the authority on cursed machines. There, he's
Yeah.
he's dabbled in it.
Every time he gets one, it's got a bad power supply or a bad logic board or somebody hot glued a fan upside down in the back somehow.
Well, I don't know. Dave's pretty close though with that yellow.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's been an interesting journey with that thing. And I actually put it on a Twitter post. I reached out to that person that was selling it, and I asked him, "Would you, like to do an interview or something, or tell me about how you came about it?" And so anyway, basically, he just said that the gentleman that gave it to him to sell, he painted it up like that for his kids because he wanted them to kind of take more interest in computing, which I thought that was kind of cool. But so he painted it up, and I can tell it's like oil-based paint, like if you'd use like on a painting. Mm-hmm. So it's got that smell to it. I have done a little cleaning here and there, like I exposed the Apple logo, which was painted over, and then where it said Macintosh Plus, I cleaned that up a little bit. But yeah, so it was very interesting. He says, that that's basically all he knows. He goes, you can use my name anytime you want. He goes, he runs a charity for the Jewish Federation, and that's how he comes about a lot of these things that people give him to sell. And so he puts it on eBay and sells things and stuff. So, but that was nice that he got back to me and told me how the history of it, how it came to be. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. And but like I said, and of course the other thing that we had to do on this thing too was re-resurrect the floppy drive too, which works fine now. But things sound like a chainsaw when you put a disk in it, eject it. So it helps when you have all the gears on the eject mechanism there. So
I do like that machine. It's like Pizza Hut got together with Disney to do a promotion for Lion King. It's just the right mix of weird 90s sort of stuff going on.
Well, I'll tell you one.
It looked like Pikachu a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, huh? Well, Jay from the House of Moth, he really doesn't care for the color of it. He calls it the Camo Mac.
I figured because it wasn't beige, he would have liked it more.
Remember, there were a bunch of those painted Macs on Kansas Fest. I don't know, you saw that, Joe? One of the groups?
Yeah. Weren't you the one who donated those?
I donated all those.
Oh, okay.
Because I bought them. It was an SE30 and I think like two 512s that they belong to a photographer in St. Louis, and I guess sometime kind of in the 90s, 2000s, used them for like basically background for pictures and stuff for students. And they were just like, I guess he masked the screens off and then just like fogged them, because like one was like kind of a pinky pink and the other one was a kind of a like greeny, and then the other one was red,
like lime,
yeah. So it so I kept the lime one because that was an SE30, but all the rest of them went to Kansas Fest.
Weird side note on that. I recently sold an iMac G3 that I got from our next door neighbor at where I work, historical museum, but he had these extra machines. I sold one of those to a guy from Columbus who mentioned that he had old compact Macs like that he had painted.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always wondering if it was the same guy and he somehow relocated to Ohio.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. Anyway.
I just remember trying to buy those machines. I was like, hey, like, I'm interested in picking them all up. I was like, I live about 2 hours away. I said, but it's no big deal. You just let me know a night that you're free. I guess I somehow weirded them out with like, I want to pay you for the thing you're trying to sell. And so I finally had to have a friend of mine who lives in St. Louis reach out to them like independently and just say, hey, do you got time on such a day? I'll come and buy them. And then went and bought them. I was like, this is like the weirdest thing ever. I don't know if they were getting slammed with people asking about them or what the deal was, and they blocked me or what. But yeah, it was very strange. But that's how I got my SE30, and that's how Joe got his SE30 board, because that's the board out of that machine.
There was a Ben Heck video where he had like a Mac Classic that was painted in like, it was like the liner for the back of a pickup truck or something. It was like that textured liner.
Yeah.
So that was a interesting paint job. So it seems like painting compact Macs funky colors is a common.
Final little note on painting Macs. If anybody is looking for the color of the Platinum Mac and you're looking for paint or filament or anything, the closest color match you can get that is a generally available color code is RAL7044. I just want to put that out there. Folks are asking about it in the chat and stuff like that, and I get comments on that. So yeah,
that's also the code for Joe's luggage. So if you're ever at the carousel,
that's amazing.
What? It's not 1, 2, 3, 4?
No, that's too easy to guess.
6502.
Yeah. So, hey, we've done pretty good. I kind of put out there and I said, hey, it'd be really great if we kept this to like less than 90 minutes just to make it, easily digestible for people to watch it on a replay. In closing, did we have anything that you absolutely want to see for next year? I know we talked about more collaborations. Tom said that he's going to repaint all of his whole Macintosh collection with pastel colors. Yep. Something like that. I really wasn't listening.
But this color classic's going to be pink. Oh
my God. Googly eyes.
Yeah, googly eyes.
Googly eyes in the floppy drive.
The Apple II is going to be yellow.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more software. I'd like to
any
see
other
more
cool
software.
things you guys would like to see maybe for next year's event?
More software.
Yes.
More software.
More
Yeah.
software. More like
Googly
more presentation of Mac related things that aren't necessarily directly related to the Mac itself. Peripheral companies, third party providers of things, more cool emulation stuff. I'd love to see more content about the Macintosh application environment on the Sun Spark system. That would be really awesome. Who was it last year that did that? Was it Alex J. Cox did some stuff on that last year? I would love to see more content on that. That would be cool. Another thing I think would be neat would be to see more content that wasn't explicitly YouTube video content. That's always going to be that main driver. And there are a lot of people who are doing bloggy stuff, but I'd love to see more vlogs or just like, here's my 400 picture Flickr gallery for March, and it's just like tons of like awesome photography of classic Macs, and just kind of pushing the edges of what it is. Not necessarily just being it's about the technical thing. The Macintosh has always been about style, class, and that what Steve Jobs said was the intersection of technology and the humanities. I would absolutely love to see more of that humanities side presented for MARCHintosh next year. I think
so less hardware. Joe, does that mean you're not going all in on the history of PowerBook modems video?
Dude, hey, the video would be great as long as I get those modems afterward to make cool jewelry out of them.
Make like a necklace of ears. I get it.
I want to see more content creators out there. The small channels. Just do something.
Yes.
Make a short video. Do you have a story about a Macintosh when you grew up? Just make a short video. Doesn't have to be perfectly edited.
Stories.
Yeah, personal stories. Doesn't have to be perfectly edited. Just sit down, tell your story, upload it to YouTube. Tag it with MARCHintosh.
Okay.
Very cool. There were a lot of people that just posted things on Twitter, posted like photo sets or things that went to their Instagram. I'd love to see more of that type of stuff too, because there are people that don't maybe necessarily have all the resources to do a YouTube channel or make videos and things like that. But absolutely, like I love what Joe was saying, and I love what xodium was saying about and Justin was saying about just trying to branch it out into other things, like photo sets and things like that would be really cool.
That's right. So if you're have a story about Macs and you don't do YouTube, do an Instagram reel or a Twitter video. I think Twitter allows videos. Or
interpretive dance.
Yeah, sure.
There you go, Joe. That's a story for you.
No.
All right. So just anything in closing. Hey, let's take a second, because again, the shameless self-promotion, my favorite part of all of the streams that I am part of. Let's take a second just to kind of go around the room, make sure that everybody knows, again, who we are and where they can find us, maybe on either YouTube or social media or all that good stuff. So, Dave.
Okay, so as the thing says there, Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. I consider myself my little dog and pony show. Okay, I do lots. It's not. I mean, it's Mac related, but I kind of change it up. I do shorts. I've been starting to do that. Trying to add a little humor to it. But I like the Power PCs. That's kind of my forte. But I like. I'm getting back into the 68K Macs. But yeah. Please subscribe. I do, like I said, I do different things. I make mistakes. I can't edit them all out. They're in there. So, and everybody here that's on the panel, I know you either via YouTube. I know you via either Twitter. Sean has helped me out a lot on my when I was trying to desperately get the software on my Cube to run that newer tech board on it, and thank you very much, Sean. I appreciate it. Joe's helped me a lot there. Ron's helping me with something, and Tom, he helped with the Blue Scuzzy. Thank you very much. And so, I mean, and Justin, I watch you. Javier, I watch you. Eric, xodium, I watch you guys on your channels. So I just, we all have to stick together, no matter if you get 1 subscriber or 1 million subscribers. It all goes to that circle of friends that we have, So anyway, I'll pass it over to Joe. There we go. There.
Hey everybody, as said at the beginning, my name is Joe Strohsnyder of Joe's Computer Museum. You can find me here on YouTube at Joe's Computer Museum. I also have a website, jcm-1.com, where I sell trinkety merchy stuff, mostly electronic kits. This year I started selling Blue Scuzzy. Last year I did a video about Blue Scuzzy for MARCHintosh, and then Eric Helgeson of the Blue Scuzzy Project's like, we need more people to help provide that. Can you do? And I'm like, okay. And now I'm doing that. But I do all the different types of content, not just Macintosh content. I also do Apples and K-Pros, which we may be doing a K-Pro thing this year. We'll see. And lots of other stuff. So, just search me out. Just look for Joe's Computer Museum. You'll find me out there on the internet. Reach out, ask me questions, look for my stuff, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys around. I do want to thank everybody on this panel for making cool MARCHintosh content and making this thing possible this year. And I also want to thank everybody out there that's watching and everybody who has created content for this year, because it's all about us as a whole and about you as a community to make this happen. It's not just us, a bunch of talking heads. There's your performance art reference there, Ron. It's not just a whole bunch of talking heads up here doing stuff. We're actual human beings in our mom's basements at the age of 37 playing with old computers.
Yep.
And we are human beings, and we're out here to share and love and make the world a better place. So that's my 30 seconds stretched to 2.5 minutes. Javier, make me a candle.
With that, I have nothing else to say, but I'm Javier Rivera. I am Adventures in Retro Computing. I have master in YouTube with the E is a 3. Also Twitter, have master with the E is a 3. And then I have 8-bit tees, the best t-shirts, of course, on the internet. So 8-bit tees, go visit, buy a lot.
He has all of the t-shirt designs I wanted to make, but he came up with the designs before I did. So when I launched my store, I was just jealous and then had to make a whole bunch of bad designs.
And lately, I've been a candle maker. So
I need that candle.
every time I need to do something good, I go to my thing. So if I want to be good at soldering, I lead this guy. And then if I want to be good at everything else, because he does this. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And of course, if you want a RetroTech and he's yellow, then you got to lead this guy. So that's it. And now it's Sean's.
Well, I'm Sean from Action Retro, and I don't do nearly as many cool things as that. Yeah, but you can find me on YouTube, clumsily working on usually old Macs. Next is xodium.
Oh no! Hello, I'm 840AV's Retro House, because people can't pronounce it. I'm kidding. No, xodium's Retro House, which of course you can find me on YouTube, which is where most people know me. But I also I just remembered, because that's how often I remember it. I also do some writing on xodium.net, which is like my blog, which I forget I have a lot of the time, unfortunately. But I do that. I do Twitter, and again, I'm very thankful for everybody here, everybody out in the audience, and especially Ron, because if it wasn't for Ron and Garth specifically, it's like I wouldn't be here sitting on the same damn stage as Action Retro, which is I've been binging for as long as I can remember.
Thank you.
So, really, just want to say thanks to, I never thought I'd get to where I'm at today, right now. So, with that said, down to Eric.
Yeah, the new guy. Eric John Miller. So if you want to find me on YouTube, that's the account, Eric's Edge. I'm also Eric John Miller on Twitter. You can see a trend here. I do have a blog. I haven't done much with it lately. Maybe I need to do some more. I mean, the last thing I did was a PowerBook 520C restoration when I rebuilt batteries for it. But yeah, that was fun. Anyway, but it's called Pragmatic Pizza because I like making pizza, because I love eating pizza, and pineapple does not belong on pizza. I'm sorry.
I agree.
It does
Me
not.
too.
And
I disagree.
I would say fruit doesn't belong on pizza, but tomato botanically is a fruit, and tomato sauce goes on pizzas. So
There you
I
go.
guess I like fruit on pizza.
I love how you're the first result for Pragmatic Pizza. If I Google it,
You know, I was gonna use Cage Fighting Babies. I actually recorded. I did register that URL. It's
Gareth,
a long
you're already
story.
on enough watch lists, man.
Yeah,
You do not need that kind of heat.
Yeah, but you know, there are some issues with babies and cage fighting. You know, south of the border,
Yes.
maybe like
just-
Antarctica. You know,
From
they
the
do it
Roddy
outside.
Piper daycare.
no. Vintage Hillbilly Shack, no. No, just no.
Anyway, I'm into hypercard programming. If you want to watch an academically dry presentation about hypercard, I'm your guy. I am going to spice it up with some actual programming, live streaming, doing programming, but I'm
Well, baby,
easing into it.
Okay, good.
Okay. Next, Morgan.
Yes.
Picturesque.
Yes, I am Justin D. Morgan. My YouTube channel is, there we go. I'm trying to point at the name. Justin D. Morgan. I do lots of live streams. I try to do scripted videos, but I don't get many out. I am working on one, and it's just taking forever to
I
finish.
feel seen.
Yes.
It me.
Yes, Joe's even helping with my scripted video, and he probably figured it. But anyways, I am on Instagram. I am Justin D. Morgan on Instagram. And I am on Twitter. I'm JDMCS on Twitter. And I do have a blog, jdmcs.com. That happens to be the first domain name I registered. And that I registered it on the Macintosh 2CI, which is why I'm trying to restore one. And it is my domain's 23rd anniversary this year, which since I am a big math geek, that's why I'm celebrating a prime number anniversary instead of the 5-year anniversaries that everyone else does, because I'm just a big math nerd.
You're a math nerd? You can do my taxes next year then.
You shouldn't have volunteered yourself, man.
Accounting is not math.
Why? I can no longer
Accounting is
count,
not
Joe. When it comes to taxes,
Okay, so
Yeah.
you can count my inventory then.
yeah, unfortunately, I can count your inventory.
Okay.
I'm just a little bit too far for that, but
And every 10th one you can take.
I won't know. I'm horrible.
so yes.
Do I have 10 babies or 9? I don't remember.
And finally, Tom.
Hey.
Tom.
Hi, I am Tom, or not Tom, or not Tom, depending on who you ask.
Hold on, I got a good new one. Sloop Tom B.
Sloop Tom B.
It's a good Beach Boys reference there. Go ahead. Sorry.
So you can find me on tom.scuzzy.blue, where I sell these nifty little Blue Scuzzy devices. I'm on Twitter on at Torbar, Torbar. And maybe once a week or every couple of weeks, you can usually find myself, Ron, Joe, Steve, and other guests. Eric and Justin joined us last time doing some live game streams on Ron's channel. So we played Jackbox last night. Before we played Halo, we played Marathon. So it's always a good time.
Yep.
I died a lot.
I think we all died a lot, except for the other Eric.
I do have to respond to Starbuck Tech directly. No, you will take the pumpkintosh off my cold dead body. It's mine.
And I must say, Joe, that's an awesome machine.
Thank you.
That is awesome.
It was a labor of love, or something.
Back up to me. I'm going to very quickly throw my. Hopefully, you guys can hear it, but I switched my thing to where basically it's got my information there. But yeah, it's Ron's Computer Videos. You've obviously found the channel if you found this video, but you can also follow me over on Twitter, Ron's Comp Vids. You can also check me out over on Linktree. I don't even remember what my Linktree thing is, but that basically links to everything else. Oh yeah, it's Linktree Ron McAdams, and it'll link you up to everything else that I'm doing. But that's pretty much fun. Yeah. That's, so. All right,
man.
So thank you everybody that came.
One last promotional thing before we leave.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh yeah, the giveaway.
Yeah, so since we have like 3/4 of the Retro Repair Roundup on here at the moment, I just do want to mention to anybody who's watching, don't forget, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we're doing Retro Repair Roundup, where there are 2 cool things happening. One, Justin D. Morgan, who's in this chat right now, is going to be our special guest.
Oh,
in addition,
good
we're
job.
giving away
All right.
that Mac SE that is right over Javier's shoulder.
Nice.
So come check it out.
Look at all those beautiful stickers on there. It's got to be worth more. It's signed inside.
Each
It's
sticker
rare.
has 5 megahertz.
Very rare.
Find those in any other Macs. That's for sure.
And if you do,
Good job. Personally kiss that machine.
My precious.
Kiss. Go ahead and power it up. Kiss it right next to the anode cup.
Shocking.
I just want to say, if good fortune, it's not going to be rigged, but if I were to be the proud recipient of that, that would look really nice with my yellow Macintosh Plus.
It would.
Just saying.
Contrast the two, right?
There you go. We like stickers. Yes.
Absolutely. So make sure that you head over to the Retro Repair Roundup YouTube channel. There is a video out there that is listed as the content, or basically the contest entry video. And it's very simple. You just go out, you like the video, you leave a comment. It'll tell you, there's instructions at the top that'll tell you the hashtag to kind of leave there. And then basically we'll do the drawing tomorrow evening. So good luck to everyone who entered. Many will enter, one will win, but that person will be very, very pleased. It's a Macintosh SE30 that Joe went through and basically tuned up all the electronics. Javier retrobrided the machine. The machine itself was donated by Rudy from Rudy's Retro Intel, and then I went through and very frustratedly I hit a bunch of brick walls because I realized something about Lido formatted images that I had a lot of problems, but I was able to go through and I got a Bluescuzzy installed, and it's basically got like a tweaked out version of 701, and it's got like a lot of great black and white games and apps and stuff like that to kind of get the recipient started. Plus, it also includes a Apple desktop keyboard and mouse, like a ADB mouse 1, so that way everything very much looks of that era. So it'll be very cool for whoever wins that. So.
Javier, are you giving away the candles or keeping those?
My candle.
It's an SE FD-HD, correct?
Yep.
It is. Yes. So it's 4
All
megs of RAM and a Bluescuzzy and plenty of stuff to get you started. So it'll be a good time, especially for somebody that maybe is new to the hobby and is just trying to get a machine to kind of get started. So there's been a number of entries out there. Basically it's 1 entry per person. You can read the rules out there on the video itself, but so All right, we are coming up on 90 minutes, and we made a promise that we would try to keep this under 90 minutes. We got 7 minutes to go. So I will say, let's go ahead and wrap things up here. I want to thank everybody who tuned in to watch this evening. I want to thank everybody who was kind enough to show up to be on the panel tonight. Great conversation, great friendship, some good laughs. I really appreciate it. Joe, what else do you got?
Come watch my channel and buy blue scuzzies for me, not from not Tom B. There it rhymed.
Only buy blue scuzzies for me.
Right. All right. Everybody, thank you again. Have a wonderful evening. I'm going to go ahead and play the outro. Everybody have a wonderful evening, and we will see you soon. Good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.
Nanu, nanu.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
May the force